Welcome to Roll Q, where nerdy grown-ups chase big feelings with questionable accents and tell a great story and then upload it to YouTube, just like everybody else. I am your GM, Q. We have saved you a seat. So grab your dice and let's roll. So we find ourselves in this conservatory / ballroom. And everything has stopped spinning, the music has stopped, the ghosts have vanished. To reset the room a little bit, there's a brass chandelier from the ceiling, gossamer curtains on the windows. The harpsichord is in one corner. There's a fireplace with a harp next to it. And above that fireplace are a couple of some alabaster figurines. Looks like about 5 of them, all dancing. There is a door seeming to lead out of the south part of this room.
As the room resolves itself, what direction is the door from which we came? Are we not sure?
Since all I want to make sure I get it right. I believe, did everyone go into the east door eventually? I guess everyone went into a different door and ended up in the same room.
Yep.
Before the room started to spin, the door was oriented toward the south. It is currently oriented toward the south now. It is as though the room did not really spin itself. It was just the walls that spun. And
Okay.
you guys didn't feel like you were spinning, like you didn't feel like you were going to fall. It's just the sort of atmosphere around you spun rather than the room itself.
And are there windows?
There are windows. There are
Even though
windows
we would,
on what is the east wall.
even though theoretically we would be underground.
Theoretically, you are underground.
But what's out these windows? Maybe we'll see a worm friend.
As you walk, you part those gossamer curtains. And as you look, you see that you seem not to be underground. This seems to be a house that was built into this cliff, but not all the way into the rock. As though if the cliff is here, the top of the house sits there, and then the house is on the outside. It's just built downward instead of upward. So you look and you see, appears to be you're down in this cliff and you're looking down and you can't see anything too far. And then within seconds, the flesh-colored tendrils surround the windows and cover them completely in the exact same manner as happened.
Ew.
Sam's got it.
Is the harpsichord still playing, or did it stop when the spinning stopped?
The harpsichord stopped when the spinning stopped.
I'm all right.
The ghostly figures disappeared too, right?
Yes, all that happened at one time when the ghost of Elizabeth, or at least looked like her, pulls the necklace off. Everything stops, and it's almost as though you're in what passes for a normal room.
And there's one door out of this normal room?
Yes, there is the door you came in as well.
I'm just gonna look at that. You said there were alabaster figurines, 5 of them. He'll go take a look.
So, as you look at them, you can see that as you look, suddenly, as you're looking, and it appears to be a grown-up man, 2 grown-up women, and a couple of what could be children. And as you look, suddenly, the floor shakes a little bit. Not like an earthquake, almost like something heavy, massive hit the house, like a car crashed into the house. Just one big shift. And when that happens, the male figurine tumbles off and breaks at your feet. One of the females falls over, and the others are fine.
And would we be able to tell at all what direction the jarring came from?
Does Gummer have some kind of earth sense or something?
He does, but only on stone.
Okay. It felt like it came from the same direction the windows are, which of course is impossible because at least nothing from the outside, unless, a giant bird like a rock crashed into it. Because it's sort of overhanging in air.
Did we
He'll
all feel the house shake, or just Gummer?
Just Gummer.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize. He'll pick up each of the remaining buttons and take a look at them. Anything of
As soon as you look, one of the female dancer figurines was standing there, didn't fall. The figurines don't look different. The figurines themselves look the same, copies of one another. The one that fell down, however, now has like cracks. Face, arms, torso are kind of cracked. And the one which you were looking at that was a male is now on your feet in a million pieces. Everyone would have heard the shattering of the alabaster figurine.
Oksana would have heard this, like you say, because you are GM. And she will see the broken thing on the ground and look at the other ones. And I deduce that the one that fell was the man, and it serves him right. It's patriarchal bull stuff, and I don't want to deal with it. And I'm sure they were very upset about it. And it's Gummer's right there, right?
Yeah, we're standing right there.
Which figurines are you holding?
probably the two women or the two female figurines.
Okay, Gummer, you are male. I should be holding the females. You should not be holding the males. I think you need to give them to me.
They're just little carvings. I'm not. There's what?
No. I'm not suggesting there is anything inappropriate. I am just saying they obviously have an issue with male since they throw the male off of wherever they are right now. Where are they? Like a
They're
banister?
on a mantle above the fireplace.
Since they throw male off banister,
They didn't throw
what the-
anything. It was that jarring.
I don't know what you're talking about, jarring.
I did not feel a jarring.
There was a big shake and he fell off.
Okay, Oksana is going to gently reach over and say, "These are very delicate. You are very
I
concerning
didn't
right now."
do it.
Of course not. You did not do it. But I will hold them for you. I would hate for jarring to, make them break again.
What did this jarring feel like, Gummer?
Have you ever had like you're in an outhouse and a bull charges it?
No.
I have. That's a lot what it felt like. Fortunately, when I shot myself, I was in a good position, so
There we
But
go.
like that, but with the entire house. And I don't think that there's a bowl that size.
As if something struck the house, you say.
That's what it felt like to me. None of you felt it?
No.
Is your
Ariel's
stomach
super
okay?
hangover.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
well.
fine. After, after the tavern, it's fine.
Okay.
Sam will
need to
go
clean
and
your
look back out the window. Sam is going to go and look back out the windows just to see if he can see anything that would confirm Gummer's experience.
If Gummer did Gummer let her take the figurines or not?
He did, but I think partially to be spiteful and partially out of a sense of protection, he takes the two little kid ones and keeps them.
Of course he did. So I take females, I look at them, and I put one in. Actually, I put one under one of my shoulder pads and one under the other shoulder pad, like devil and angel. It's weird.
Which one do you
Gummer
wear?
puts them in his beard.
Sam,
They
there's
have like a
nothing to
swing.
be seen except fleshy tendril. Perhaps the fleshy tendril shook the house.
I do not see anything out here except for more of those disturbing tendrils.
I blame Gummer.
All right, if you're not going to believe me, there's no point in talking about it more. Let's just move on.
Is
I
there
believe
anything?
you, Gummer.
Sam is so kind. Is there anything else on the walls that we have not examined?
There are chairs along the north wall, as though this is also like a recital space. I think of it as those, old timey Victorian where someone's playing the piano and all the rich people are like sitting and watching. But there's only a few chairs there.
Oksana is going to recall a time when she used to write underneath the tables and chairs of where she grew up. And so all of a sudden, you will see Oksana walk over to the chairs and get on all fours and just kind of slide across the floor, across underneath each, not underneath the chairs, but in front of, like looking up. And each one, unless GM say otherwise.
As you look under those chairs, Oksana, there are a few carved little like stick figures kind of things. There's not anything that feels significant. It's not anything that feels more than, a little kid going like that when they're not supposed to. Nothing symbolic like there kind of has been in some other places.
Did it look like it would have been both children?
Make a perception or investigation check. Your DC is going to be high because we're trying to differentiate between little kids scrawl carving.
Okay. Perception and what?
Investigation. You can choose either one.
Don't bother. It was 9.
It's little kids make stick figures. It could have been anyone.
I mean, it seemed like they didn't really have a lot of imagination. They probably didn't have like happy life here because I would imagine I would see more artwork underneath the chairs. So I don't think they had a good time here. Not at all. And I'll get up and go toward the exit, or I don't know what
Sam is
direction
going to
we're
go to
facing.
that south door too.
Okay. So the south door is thick and wooden, brass handle, just like most of the rest of them.
Shall I open it?
Before you do, did anybody else see Cormac's little thing glow? Just me?
Did we?
I thought we all
I
did.
think you all did. He'll say, "Yes, I don't have really any way to explain it. It started to glow, and I don't know why they would be similar. It is a piece that I've carried around for a long time. But then when she tore it off, it stopped. So it's rather strange.
Did it make you feel a type of way?
It made me feel the same type of way that I have felt the whole time that I've been in this house, which I have no idea what's going on. Very strange things are happening, but it was not significant to me. There is no waltzing in my past or anything like that. So other than they are both pieces of amber, I don't know what they would have to do with one another at all.
The secrets will be revealed as we get deeper within this manor.
I have a question, GM. When this happened, did the wife? It's the wife, right? The Amber. Sure.
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
she look at Cormac?
Not that you noticed. She seemed to look at no. The entire time that you saw her, her eyes just followed the ghosts that were dancing. She did not seem to light eyes upon any of you at all, in particular.
Question. Is Lyriel aware of any magical power that an amber might have?
Make an Arcana check.
It's a 3. You go in timeout.
Amber's. It is the kind of thing that you feel like you've seen Arcane. I mean, the reason you thought of it was because you've seen Arcane people use it, but it sort of, why do wizards wear pointy hats? Because they just do. And
Because they do.
the amber is kind of a, one of those things, maybe.
Well, I'll follow Sam if we're leaving.
I will explore. Sam opens the door.
So many words, Sam. So many words.
As you open this door, you enter a library. There are windows facing across, so windows facing south. The curtains here are a red velvet. There is an absolutely exquisite mahogany desk and a matching high back chair that are facing this entrance. And as you open the door, immediately to your left is a pretty large fireplace. Like all of the fireplaces so far, it is not lit. Above that fireplace, there's a framed picture of a windmill. The windmill is perched on a rocky sort of crag of land that sticks up. In the corners of the room, there are 2 more of those overstuffed chairs. And on that south wall, between the windows, floor to ceiling bookshelves. And the floor to ceiling bookshelves continue on almost all of the walls in all of the available space. There's even a ladder on the rail, the kind of ladder you can push down like that to climb up to something high.
I suppose I will go and check the desk first.
Atop the desk, you see an oil lamp, jar of ink, quill pen, tinderbox for lighting said lamp. There is a letter kit. The letter kit has a red wax candle with it. There are 4 blank pieces of looks like fine-looking parchment, and there is almost like a signet on a ring, but without the ring part, just the signet part. There's a wooden seal that has that same windmill insignia as the painting does. If you open up the drawers themselves, they are empty, except one of them has a very large iron key.
Sam will reach in and withdraw the key and then hold it up as if a fisherman presenting a very large bass.
You hold it closer to the camera so it
I hold
looks
it closer
bigger.
to the and I gotta take my shirt off too while we take the selfie. It's for
He's
Sam's
not wearing clothes.
profile. He
Sam
doesn't
is
wear
close.
clothes.
I can imagine you with your necklace, like holding it out and being like,
Anyway,
Oh,
Sam
come on.
holds up the key proudly and says, "I have found something." And he
Oh.
does this clearly hoping that someone else will know what to do with this key.
It wouldn't appear to match anything we've seen, would it?
Does not appear to match anything you've currently seen. Have you guys even had a locked door yet?
Yes.
I think
The,
maybe
the
one.
first
You
the
did have
first
one, but there
door
was no
to the
keyhole.
left. Yeah.
Yes, the very first door to the left with no keyhole.
It's like false door.
You have not seen a door with you have not seen a door with a keyhole as large as it would need to be for this big iron key to fit it.
Have we seen any like other pictures or like anything that indicates like, I don't know, I guess like that would be really expensive. But I'm just wondering if there's anything that might have a door in it, like picture wise or drawing wise or something that we could reference.
The only two things that you've seen are the big portrait of the family on the inside, which you've taken off the wall and now have the portrait itself stowed away, and the windmill portrait you're looking at right now. As you look at the windmill does have a door, a windmill big enough to walk inside. It's not painted with near enough detail to know if there's any significance to that connection or not.
And is the like stamp thing, does it match the letter from the closet?
Yes, it does.
Did we open it?
The invitation?
The invitation or the note from
Yeah, which
Soft
one?
to, G.
The
There's a seal on the bottle or something, wasn't there?
Yes, there was a wax seal on the bottle, and now that you're thinking of it, though the invitation had been opened, there was a little top and bottom seal that if you folded it up would fit together, and they are both of this windmill.
There's nothing else in the room that looks like it would take this large key?
No, there are no doors leading out of this place at all.
Stop it, Oksana. Stop it.
I am such a child. Oh my gosh. Cannot.
Thinking about the invitation, you realize that the invitation was for a party that the Dursts were throwing here, presumably. And it said that their residence was in a place called Barovia Village. Not meaningful to any of you. But it did say it was celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Durst Mill. Presumably that is the Durst
That's the
Mill.
Durst Mill.
Or
That must
so
be where the family money has come from.
looking around at the shelves, which I guess is the only other thing in here, are there any books that look out of place or pulled out or missing
Yeah,
or
Ariel's kind of
strange colors or
So we can each make a perception check, or you and Lyriel can decide who's going to do it with disadvantage, or investigation if you
with disadvantage.
with advantage. Either separate rolls or one roll with advantage, and you decide
Okay.
who's going to do it.
GM, can I ask a quick question while they're doing
Sure.
that? With shift changing, shape shifting. Thank you. My God. It says I have to have seen the humanoid. Does that include pictures?
I would say it does. It does lead to more of a chance that your transformation will not be as accurate as it would be to a person in the flesh. I mean, you're not going to look like you're painted. You'll look like whoever you change into. But because there is some artistic license always taken, might not quite be able to pass for that person.
Well, and I wouldn't know their mannerisms or anything. So
You certainly would not.
sorry. Continue with your
Good
first.
question. I had to think about
That
it.
was investigation or perception, right?
Yes, you can choose.
I've only got a +1. Do you have something better?
Yeah.
Then I will kind of like come over and stand next to you and
And
Or-
Gummer will
double check.
will kind of wipe his eyes and blink a few times to try and really get focused and cast guidance on himself.
Very good.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
29.
He reads every book.
So
Speed read.
Summer Marie Kondo's the library, actually.
so
This volume does not spark joy.
it's it's not quite joy sparking. It is intricately organized. It is alphabetical. It is by topic. Anyone with this many books that wants to find one has to have that sort of system. So there's a set of books that are about history. There's books about warfare. There's even books about alchemy. There are what appear to be first edition books that are poetry or fiction. However, with a 29, there is one book that immediately stands out. It is a red spine book that is a little too large, and it is the only book with absolutely nothing on the spine. And it looks like it's never been touched. The rest of the books look appropriately old. This one does not.
How high is it?
It's about Lyriel's eye level, so that would be about here for you. You can certainly reach it.
All right. Gummer will do that.
So pull this book out, and behind it is
A dragon.
kind of behind it is a little box. So it's not like it opened a secret passage or anything, but it does pull out, and there is a little box behind it. The box is sort of tall and narrow, not quite as small, not quite as narrow as like a necklace box would be. It's the kind of like a box that you'd put long stem roses in,
Oh, all
about
right.
that size.
He'll point out the box to everyone else and take a step back and then open the book.
When you open the book, it's all written by hand. And it seems to be a mishmash of. Well, make an Arcana check.
All right.
Arcana's going
Dirty
to
20.
check out the nice fabric while you were doing me.
Okay. Dirty 20. You know spells. These are spells. They seem to be about rituals, either to summon some sort of fiend of some kind. Other rituals seem to be necromantic in nature. A dirty 20 would also tell you that everything in it is nonsense. That none of them are real spells. That if you did everything exactly as you should according to this book, absolutely nothing would happen. It shows a complete misunderstanding of the weave entirely.
Does it? I know this would be maybe hard to be sure. Would it seem like fake instructions given to someone else, or fake stuff that somebody was making up for themselves?
The latter.
Okay.
The latter. It doesn't feel like a trick. It feels like a diary of someone who thinks they're going to be a wizard.
Okay.
And isn't going to be.
Not wanting to metagame. Oksana, what do we know about your patron? Would we know that they are fiendish in nature?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then he would definitely. I mean, he would tell all of them, but he would point out because Sam is really concerned about striking down evil, and he would tell Oksana because she knows fiendish stuff. There's stuff in here that deals with trying to summon fiends. I mean, it's hooey, but it might explain what's going on in this house a little bit.
What do you mean by hooey?
It's garbage. It's meaningless. It's what I left in the outhouse when the bull hit it.
I see. It is a metaphor.
Yeah, there you go.
Looking over, I assume looking over Gummer's shoulder, his head, he's short. The handwriting in the book, does it at all look similar to the handwriting on the wall in the first room?
It is identical.
Ooh, good catch.
Nice.
Oksana, as
Isn't
you're.
that
Sorry,
the
go ahead.
blood handwriting? Anybody else notice?
What about the?
In the first room, isn't that the same
Oh.
handwriting?
It definitely is. I got very close to it. Is it possible? I mean, I don't want to like say there's male handwriting and female handwriting, but if we were to say it, what would it look like if we had to
This
put it?
particular time and place. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Oh, I'm rolling shit. 13.
13's not bad. It's very difficult to tell. Many people are never taught to write at all. Women and men are both taught to write very, very, very neatly. Writing neatly is a craft, which, since you can't delete or erase it, it makes sense. At least not without difficulty. If you had to put a bet on it, you would say it is female writing, not because of the way the script looks, but the wording feels female. The rituals are written out. The rituals aren't mansplaining. They don't tell you, oh, if you do this, you will have this great power. It's there's no puff. It's just, if you do this ritual, you will raise a dead something.
So that would be like, are there any? Obviously, it relates to fiends. So when Oksana looks at it, are there any specific things that are written in there that, other than summoning fiends, would be indicative of like Elizabeth Earth's motives? if it was her.
How long are you going to spend looking?
As however long Sam will let her.
It's probably about
Are you going to come stab the,
probably
the
about
book?
8:30 or 9 o'clock at night.
Gummer
No.
already said the book was full of outhouse offerings.
Okay. I
I do
will.
not need to stab outhouse offerings.
Okay. I'm
No,
going
some
to.
things I've left. You don't want them crawling around.
What we are like three of us are like middle school.
Sorry, hang on. Would you call that a shit kebab?
Oh jeez. Oh my god. Oh Lord.
I feel like
Okay.
we're almost done here. I think we're good. See you guys next
Are we
week.
calling a
Bye,
game
everyone.
there? We're done. Thanks
Whole
for watching.
campaign. Whole campaign. It's done.
I'll never top that. Never.
Like and subscribe.
All right. Very serious.
So
9 o'clock at night.
You haven't heard the 9 o'clock bell, but you heard the 8 o'clock bell and puttered around that conservatory for a while, and you puttered around here for a while, and it's hard to tell.
And there's no clock in here.
No clock in here. The only clock
Is
you've
that
seen
normal?
at all is the very first grandfather clock. It is probably
for a library
not
to have a
super.
clock.
Probably not. Anyone who can afford those red velvet curtains would love to have a clock to show off.
I'm surprised Oksana hasn't yanked him off the wall yet.
I was rubbing them very, very nicely
They're
to
very
my
soft.
face.
You thumb through the book a little bit, you read the fiend stuff. You are coming to the same exact conclusion that Gummer came from, and to confirm that, you hear in your
This
head.
is what I was going to ask. Yes.
Yeah. You'll hear in your head, what did the little ginger ball call it? Hooey? Yeah. This is just hooey.
I'm going to internally think. I will not call him Ginger Ball. He probably will not like it. This doesn't make any sense for me or my little friend in my head.
You have
Sam,
a friend in your head?
Oh yes. We can get into it later. We have great stories to have. I promise. We're best friends already. Sam, do you have anything thoughts about this book until we just throw it in outhouse?
I do not think it requires a dignified burial.
Lyriel's gonna pull the box down out that Gummer pointed out.
Box is not sealed at all. It's black.
Is it wooden?
No, it's made of I guess it would be wooden. I think it would be wooden. I was thinking cardboard, but I don't think they had
I
cardboard.
don't think there's cardboard.
So, a thin, lightweight wood, painted black, and you open it, and you find a few things in it. You find a kind of not so small coin purse. You find 3 scrolls that appear to be spell scrolls. And there is also inside an envelope. The envelope has been opened, but inside of the envelope there is a folded up letter of some type.
Can I?
The scrolls to Oksana and letter.
I was actually looking over her shoulder, and I'm actually going to hand these scrolls to Cormac. Like, do you know? Here, I don't know what to do with these.
He'll look and he'll say, actually, as it turns out, these would be probably probably would be better scrolls for Sam, actually. Uh, this one is a bless scroll. It makes everyone feel blessed by, in this case, Lathander. This is a scroll that will give you protection from any sort of poison and toxins. This scroll will actually create a. I'm not sure if I don't wish to presume about Sam, but this will produce a sort of spiritual weapon, which will work as an actual force weapon. So yes, these are those scrolls.
I can hold on to them until we need them.
And in the rules, only wizards can do this.
I don't know. I will say, because it's more fun, that if you have a spellcasting DC, which all 5 of you do, any of you can cast that spell if you can cast a second level spell. If you can cast a spell level. For example, spiritual weapon, I want to say it's a second level spell. Wouldn't you get access to that around level 3? Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
A paladin won't. Paladin doesn't
Paladin
get a
won't.
second level skill until level 5.
That's a great point. If you have access to. So Sam cannot cast spiritual weapon, but you can, because you have access to second level spells being a level 3 caster. You have Scorching Ray, which is a level 2 spell. So even though that is not a warlock spell, you can still cast it.
Oh, I didn't. Your line of sight made me think it was looking at Gummer. Like, I was like, oh, can he?
Gummer's not even on that side for me. Gummer can't now, mostly because of the level in fighter, so he's not quite there.
Exactly.
So I could cast a spiritual weapon.
You could cast any of the 3. Any of you could cast Bless. Bless is a first level spell. Protection from poison I think is second level. Don't have the moment memorized, but any of you could use the Bless.
So in using it, we have to learn it.
No. A scroll does one of 2 things.
Sorry, novice question.
No, please, this is great.
Because it disappeared.
So it's a bad example because these are not wizard spells, but let's pretend they are. Let's pretend Cormac does not know Magic Missile and you now have a scroll of Magic Missile. That scroll can be used in 2 ways. First, Cormac can do exactly what you said. He can copy that in his spell book, and now Cormac knows Magic Missile, even though he didn't have to pick it when he leveled up. So as a wizard, you get to know more if you find scrolls. They have to be the right kind of scroll. However, in copying it, that makes the scroll kind of go away. I don't know if I always just think that the magic kind of fades and the ink fades, and it's just a scroll then. Or it's a one-time use of the spell. So you, Oksana, can open the spell scroll, read the words, the scroll will poof, but you have cast Bless. You'll do it once. And of course, spell scrolls can also be sold if it's one that you do not think you will need.
Okay, so I will turn to everybody and say, okay, guys, I feel like it is inevitable that we will have to fight something. Who I don't know a lot about these scrolls, these spells, and how close people need to get to. Like, I prefer to stay farther away. My skills are better ranged. I'm just wondering, like, blessed and things like that. Does anybody have a bit more knowledge that could say, I get close, so I would be better at lay on hands or something like that? Anybody know more than me?
Well, I think for now, Sam can hold on to them and then we can look at them closer once we get out of here.
Okay. We might need it. Maybe we can throw it or something. I'll think
I
about it.
feel confident I could make use of the Scroll of Blessings, but the others I am uncertain of this time.
Cormac says, I'm suddenly able to cast either of the other two if this. I have plenty of spells of my own, but I can cast the other two if I needed to.
Bless, good and evil, or poison?
Protection from poison. Mm-hmm.
And then what was the third one?
Spiritual weapon.
Okay, got it.
Which is a fun one.
Okay, well, Sam, maybe you hold the bless and Cormac, you hold the other two, just in case we need them.
I will hold
and Lyria's
it.
going to pull the letter out of the envelope, or the paper out of the envelope, at least.
Is there anything on the bottom of the box? Sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to tell you one more thing. And I hope it's not something. Those don't use a spell slot. So if you cast Bless, it does not take a slot. Like it's like a freebie.
I did not know this.
Freebie one time.
And you need to use. Do you need to use a magic action to use them?
You will need to use an action. Okay. Yes, it's not that free.
Okay.
Free-ish. We're looking at the bottom of the letter.
I was just looking at the bottom of the box.
Well, the bottom of the box. The bottom of the box doesn't seem to have anything on it. Make a perception check though while you're doing that.
Oh, not bad. 14.
14. As you're looking at the bottom of this box where there's nothing, the slot where the book came out of catches your eye, and you kind of just glance, and behind that box, against the wall, is a niche carved into the wall. It's only about the size of a thumb, but it's as though you could put something the size of a thumb in that niche and something would happen. So it is like that book held two secrets, not just one.
I relay this to the group. Would the key work?
Look at the key. No, not a match. This is very not key-like.
What do we have that is thumb size that we could?
We all got thumbs, right?
Or the
Sam
seal.
holds up a thumb.
I think your thumb might be too big. Gummer, what about your thumb?
Can he?
It puts it in.
Wait, Gummer. The seal. The wax seal.
All right.
Before we do that, can we look at the the letter?
Sure. So we're reading the letter before anybody messes with the niche. In agreement on that? Yes. Okay. Let me make sure. The letter also has that envelope was also sealed, and of course the seal's torn in half now. It is not the windmill seal. It is a different seal that, as you put it together, it's very old, very hard to see what it is. It's a letter written to someone, and the letter reads like this. My most pathetic servant, I am not a messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you on a path to immortality. However many souls have bled on that hidden altar, however many visitors you and that monster have tortured in your dungeon, know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but worms writhing in my earth. You say that you are cursed, your fortunes spent. You abandoned love for madness, took solace in the bosom of another woman, and sired a stillborn son. cursed by darkness, of that I have no doubt. Save you from your wretchedness? I think not. I much prefer you as you are. Your dread lord and master, Strahd von Zarovich.
Whoa!
Hold.
Do any of us recognize that name?
Nope.
We are playing game. We must recognize.
Well, at least now we know why there's no sign of the baby.
He say it was stillborn,
Stillborn.
a
That's
stillborn
why the baby
baby.
doesn't have a
And it-
name.
Took solace in the bosom of a woman sired. This seems to have been written to not Elizabeth, but perhaps Gustav.
Good stuff. And you
I
said we
want-
couldn't really distinguish what the seal was on this letter, right? It was too old and
Pause
I-
a moment.
That's fine. I'm wondering. Oksana's wondering how long this has been here, so she will ask that at some point in time. Ariel, while you were looking at that, I just want you to know. I know it is very, very. This look on my husband's face is so attractive. This is not what I needed you to know. I just wanted you to know I love what you do with your hair. If you can show me, I can't quite like brush mine, but I really do feel like I'm getting, some height in here, and I don't know. But maybe you
As we-
help.
DM, I'm now looking above the table. I'm looking at a picture of Strahd's seal. I cannot actually make out precisely what it is. That's why I'm going like that. 'Cause I'm hoping that I'll.
This is going to be
You look like you're
thumbnail.
ready to like
Yeah.
pluck nose hairs in a mirror.
So now back at the table. No, you do not recognize it. It's got kind of
Alright.
wings sticking out of the side, and it seems pretty intricate, but not. Can't tell what it is exactly.
Got it.
Can we tell how long it's been there, or is there a date on it?
There is no date on it.
What's the paper? Is it yellowed? Is it worn? Does it look like it's been folded and unfolded a bunch of times? Is it
It does look like it has been folded and unfolded. It does not, though, seem to be yellowed or have any time damage. Which,
Mm.
assuming it's 1100 years old, seems impossible. But it has been sitting in a box that entire time with no exposure to air, or if there is ever moisture here, or whatever.
Yes,
It
it is
seems-
lead and acid-free box, I'm sure.
archival
It
quality?
seems the Dursts tried to serve Strahd. Whomever Strahd is, perhaps some form of fiend,
Or
and
God.
were rebuked by him.
I wonder why, though.
It looks like it was written to Gustav, so maybe it was just him. It said that he lost all his money.
Lost all of Strahd's money? Did I miss
I think
letter-
Gustav's money.
Yeah.
Because all of the stuff he is the Strahd the guy is saying to me would be things that maybe a fiend would revel in and think would be, siring a child out of wedlock and all of that juicy stuff. Like, I feel like that would not be a problem with fiend. But I could be wrong. I am quite angelic myself.
You
Like we're
hear
just gonna side eye her.
Oksana in your you hear. It's a bit complicated. We certainly do not have problems with that level of awfulness. It does fulfill a purpose. We are not, though, in the business of saving people from themselves. This we do not do. We revel in the fall. Do not pad it.
Well, guys, I know I am angelic, like I say, but apparently, like, this is real deal. And it basically he had coming. He was whatever is happening it has something to do with the Strahd, I assume.
Does the voice in your head recognize the name?
Does he?
It's a good name. I think it is one I would remember. May wonder. Let me get back to you. It's never said that before.
Above table, lore wise, are like fiends competitive with each other? Is it just kind of like Greek gods kind
Great
of?
question. Yes, they are. There is, just as the Greek gods, there is one. Well, first of all, there's two different kinds of fiends. There's devils who are from the hells, and demons who come from the abyss. In our normal language, they would be the same thing. In D&D, they are different. Your fiend is a devil, not a demon.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
The point I am trying.
All the high-ranking devils are trying to climb up to be higher ranked. They're all trying to impress the boss as best they can and have some fun too.
Yeah, the point I am trying to make, I guess I would say, as Oksana is would I can't even remember the patron's name. We got to figure this out again. Would he have a reason to lie or anything like that? But that's something I can think on another time.
Sure.
Shall we move on? What, are we going to put our finger in the hole?
Am is an advocate of either only having him put his finger in the hole because what's a stone finger going missing, or using something else. And
Are
I
we gonna
think
put the seal in?
the seal might be our thing.
That throws the quill from the table.
Which would you like to try first?
Sam's idea.
Sam will try the seal.
The seal fits in there, but the niche is the seal's circular and the niche is a completely different shape. So you put the seal in, doesn't seem to do anything. While doing that, you kind of eyeball it, and your thumb is too big.
My thumb is too big.
You ain't gotta brag about it or anything.
Not a competition, Gummer.
Scummer, go ahead and climb up on the bookcase.
What's with all the short jokes?
I'll bring roll the ladder down.
I just want you to know that that Oksana was doing the editing and listened to you say, I am 4 feet wide and 4 feet tall, and I am round like, I don't know what it was, but I listened to that like 4
Bowling ball.
million times. Yes, something like this. Anyway, he is as wide as he is tall. That was the line.
This is true.
Summer, you walk proudly, not quite on tiptoes, but thinking tall. And you reach up, and though you could grab the book, it's a little deep. It's a little deep, and your thumb is not touching the thing.
Give me the
Can
ladder.
I get you a step stool?
Ladder.
You climb the ladder. Your thumb is an appropriate length, but it is still too wide.
See, too big, too big.
We learned something
I guess
important about
Liriel will
each
try.
other today.
Lyriel, what
Gunner's still
about
on
your
the
thumb?
lad on the ladder, or did Gunner
What's
get
that?
down? Is Gummer still on the ladder, or did you get
No,
down?
Gummer will get down. Probably, I think he'll actually like triumphantly be like, "My thumb was too big," and then he'll move to the back.
Liriel will reach in and try.
Your thumb fits. Nothing happens, though. But at least you're closer. Whatever it goes in there is more your size thumb than theirs.
Sam is going to
Good.
start carefully examining the rest of the room, just looking for anything that might be the appropriate size for this device.
Make an investigation check or a perception check.
While Sam does that, can Liriel see if there's any like music books?
Sure. Same. Investigation
Sorry,
or
what
perception.
did you call investigation?
Invest for that specifically would just be investigation for sure.
Okay.
Rather than perception.
12?
12. There's no books the right size. You do light on Liriel's necklace. The wolf tooth would fit. You
Sam,
also light on Cormac's necklace. The little piece of amber on his necklace might also fit.
Sam stops and raises a hand slowly to point first at the one necklace and then the other, and gives a shrug.
Cormac will say, "Well, I'm suddenly, would you like me to try it? I have no idea why it would work, but perhaps there's sort of a, perhaps it all is connected somehow."
Sometimes the only way out is through.
I certainly hope I don't fall through anything, but I'm happy to give it a try. You'll carefully unfasten it. So he puts it in there. As it gets close, there is oh so slightly glow, as though the niche is glowing. As he puts it in, pulls back, and he kind of waits. Oh, I thought for certain that was it. It reacted very strongly to the amber. However, perhaps there is something about it that is not exact. Let's take it out and figure out this thing. There was definitely some sort of magical interaction between the amber and the niche in the wall. Perhaps that narrows
Very
the
well.
search somewhat.
Liriel, would you be willing to try?
Yeah, sure. She'll take her necklace off, hand it to Sam. In the meantime, I got an 11 on that investigation roll.
There are a couple of books of sheet music. They seem to be for harpsichord specifically. Not a one of them is remotely familiar.
Oh.
This is all songs you've never heard. And there aren't that many songs you've never heard.
Can I take one or two?
Sure. Sam, you try the tooth. Nothing happens.
Oh, guys, I didn't look in the thing. And I'll grab that coin purse that I forgot to look in.
Open it up and give her a shake. 75 gold in there. Not bad.
Is Cormac really here? Is the question.
I certainly am. Also, 5 goes into 75 more evenly than 4. It's an excellent reason to give me my 15 gold, please.
pass it out to everybody. He's not going to hold on to it.
I don't have official rules, but I always think it's best practice to just shop it.
Unless you have like a designated banker person, then yeah, just
yeah. And you can always sort of, if there's something you want that's good for the group that you can't afford, you can still pay for things for each other. It's not like anyway. So that is the entire contents of that box.
So we haven't gotten the room, the whole.
The amber necklace seemed close. And it did, Cormac described as some sort of magical reaction. Nothing else did at all. But it did not open perhaps what it should.
Perhaps we must have the other amber, the one the spirit was wearing.
The alabaster figurines are all too big for this niche, right?
The kid one's close enough to eyeball it. Yeah, too big.
All right. So where do we find another piece of amber then?
Is there another way out of the library?
Did Lyriel already try her necklace?
She did.
Okay.
There is not an exit door from the library. As you look back the way you came, the conservatory does seem to be unchanged. The doors are still open.
Did we look at the ground where Elizabeth's ghost tore off her necklace?
You have not.
Gummer will go do that then.
You go and you look, and no sign of anything. There's a thin layer of dust on the floor that you don't really notice it unless you're looking, but now looking carefully, you can see that the places you guys were walking have stirred up a little bit, and that corner is the only footprints there are yours.
Nothing in here that I can see.
And there was nothing else in the desk?
No, just the key.
Perhaps this key will open the only other locked door we've found back at the beginning.
But wasn't that door gone the last time?
Perhaps it will have returned.
But we can certainly try.
The rest of this house does not make sense. Why should the front room?
Hey, Q, when describing the room, you said there's the desk and then there's two armchairs, right? Was there like a side table between those chairs?
Yeah, there's a side table. It has a couple of, I want to call them doilies, sort of lace coasters for drinks, so the mahogany doesn't get messed up. But that is all that is on there.
And there's no drawer or anything on it?
No, it's just a table. Nice table, but a table.
Back upstairs then?
Yeah, I say we move on.
Let us try the return.
So, we walk back through the conservatory. The alabaster's still crumpled there on the floor. And everything feels pretty normal until you get back out into the area with the stairs. The stairs leading up, the ones you came down, are gone. There is a new set of stairways leading down. Looks exactly like the stairway you just came down, but there is no way to get back up to where you were. And the other three doors that you did not go through are also gone. Down is the only way.
So
you can figure out what goes in that niche.
This is like Clue.
It might not be on this floor.
But if we leave the room, it's going to go away.
Possibly.
So we walked back into the conservatory room, and the doors that had been there were gone. Is that
No, the
correct?
conservatory room is fine. As you're leaving the conservatory room, going into the room that had the 4 doors and the stairs in the middle,
Mhm.
that was supposed to be stairs going down. Therefore, being in the room now, they should go back up to where you were. But they don't. They now go down more. So the stairs have
Oh.
changed entirely in terms of direction. They look exactly the same. And the other doors, which all led to that same conservatory room, are gone now.
Unless one of us thinks we can find something to activate that niche, then our only way forward is down.
I vote we go down.
Yeah. I don't have anything I can think of.
This house seems to be jerking us around anyway.
I will go first in case there is trouble.
I will go
Going-
last.
Going
Sorry.
down the stairs is identical, except as you're going down, when you're going down before, you felt like you were going into, probably because the rooms are all painted white, a kind of light room. This time when you go down, it seems like the lantern lights are shining off of brown, untreated wood rather than painted white wood. And instead of finding yourself in a room, you find yourself at the bottom of the stairs in kind of a long hallway. All the way at the end of the hallway, about 40 feet away, there are a set of double doors. They have glass in them, but the glass is frosted, so it's not clear what you can see through yet. Also, about 10 feet from where you are, there's a door on each side, exactly opposite one another. Then, about halfway down, there's another set of doors that are exactly opposite one another. So, from this hallway, there are 5 different doors you could try.
Any of them have a lock?
They all have locks.
I want to check out the frosted glass and see if I can see anything inside, even though this is frosted.
As you walk down, the wooden doors you pass all have a keyhole, but one of them actually has a chain with a padlock on it. It's
Mm.
the first time you've seen a door that feels like it looks really different than the rest, that calls attention to itself. You pass it, you realize as you're getting closer that it's not really frosted glass, it's really kind of stained glass, but it's very dusty. Each pane is etched with intricate designs that look like windmills. You could imagine that the hues of color were once vibrant and now they are not. They're obscured under grime and dust. As you look through, you do catch a glimpse of something through the windows. A silhouette. And the silhouette is standing about that far from the glass, about that far from your face.
Scared me.
And you look at it, and the silhouette is just there. And it's lit from behind with a dim, amber colored glow. That silhouette is completely still and it is unmoving. But just the sight of it seizes your muscles. in a vice-like grip, and you're telling your legs to go back, and they won't go back. The air around you starts to thicken. The temperature plummets, and you can imagine that you can see your breath, that kind of cold. It's standing on the L at 2 in the morning in winter cold, so freezingly, bone chillingly cold. And your breath starts to fog, and it fogs the glass panes. The glass panes become a frost as it's so cold that it becomes frost almost immediately. All of a sudden, this quiet house creaks, whispers, and just as quickly, total silence. The shadow behind the door seems not to be humanoid at all. It's formless now that you look a bit closer, insubstantial, but you feel the deepest dread in the pit of your stomach. Your heart beats faster. Sweat beads up on your forehead. Your pulse is racing. And then suddenly it becomes substantial, and the silhouette starts to turn its head towards yours. And you blink, it's gone. Cold is gone. The frost is gone. Now you are looking at a dusty stained glass window into a dark room, and it is once again quiet.
Did you guys experience this terrifying thing?
I don't know, did we?
You did not.
No, you went and stood at a door. I have stood at a door before.
Okay, I relay everything to them.
Okay.
And I would like, honestly, I don't like being treated in such a way that I would like to go in this room, but I want to ask my friends and party, like, want to make sure everybody agrees, or what would you like to do? But I would like to talk to whomever is on the other side.
You said that one of
Yeah,
the
that sounds
doors had a padlock on it. Which door was that? Like
It
if
is
the
in
first
middle
door on our
set.
right, it's in the middle set. Okay.
Middle set on the left hand side.
So it's like on the left hand side there's a door, and then there's a door with a padlock, and then you get up to the middle where there's the frosted doors.
And
Sorry,
on the right hand
blank.
wall, the doors are exactly opposite their left hand. Corresponding door.
I am worried about this padlock. Like, if we open it, are we going to be letting something out that should remain in?
Or could
Well,
it
does
be
the padlock look like the key that we found would fit it?
Does it? Yeah. DM?
You walk up, kind of look. Yeah, sure looks like it'll fit.
Sam holds up the key once more in triumph. The bass
Yep.
fisherman in the North Woods. And points to the padlock. It fits.
could it be his altar? The letter mentioned an altar, right?
Why would you lock up an altar, though?
He's got kids. I don't know. People are weird.
I really want to go check out this other room, but personally, because it was quite terrifying and I am not afraid of much. Does anybody
Come
want
with you?
to? Yes, this would be great. Are we okay to split up? Ooh, maybe we shouldn't if this house moves.
Yes, the rooms sometimes rearrange themselves. It could be dangerous to be divided.
Illyria, will you at least go, like, look into the door and see, like, in the window and see if you see what I saw?
I can do that. Also, can I cast prestidigitation and try to clean the glass?
Ooh.
So you look, you don't see anything. Press to digitate the glass. Looks like a master bedroom. You can see there's kind of a big bed. There's a door seemingly facing the foot of the bed. That's kind of hard to see. There's like a tiger skin rug, very gauche, sitting in front of a fireplace. It looks like a big master bedroom of people who are very wealthy without any taste.
Looks like a tacky bedroom.
Like, with velour?
No, like rich tacky. Like, I don't know why you would kill that pretty thing and then put it on your floor.
That's true. I do like animals.
Shall we open the door?
Cormac, what do you
Yep.
think?
I think the very purpose of the lock is that that one will keep for a time. So if there's other ones of interest, we should go there first. Yes, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but after things I've been through, but we should definitely stay together.
Would you like to go first?
Suppose I can.
Perhaps
Doesn't
I
Sam
should
usually
go
like to go
first,
first?
for I am made of stone.
Closer than I'd like to be myself, but yes, around the same time. Let's just be together here. Door.
Is this the bedroom doors or the padlocked door?
Bedroom
The two
doors.
Bedroom.
Yes.
The bedroom door. Bedroom door is locked.
Of course it is.
Does the key
Is there
fit it?
Is there a keyhole?
You walk over the key and seems to fit.
Oh, I will open the door.
Does the bass fisherman make a third appearance?
So you open the door, push them both open. They both make awful squeaking noises. You're in a very dusty, cobweb-filled master bedroom. Drapes again, burgundy this time, covering windows. There's a big four-poster bed. It does have kind of embroidered curtains and like gossamer veils. It's one of those like has a canopy bed against it.
Ooh.
There is a door kind of against that wall. If the bed is here, you look that way to your right. It has a full-length mirror mounted on it. Mirrors are not something that most people have. And then in the right-hand corner, there's another little wooden door. And there's a
Well-
metal button next to that door. You now are close enough to see this tiger skin rug is completely rotting. You note that there have been many, many, many places that did not seem to have aged at all. It absolutely looks like no one has been in this room in 1,000 years. Everything is covered in dust and cobwebs. The air smells so musty. There's kind of a parlor in this that's all filled with webs. There's another dirty window. A couple of wardrobes all scratched. Everything in here. It's a little vanity with a wooden frame mirror. This mirror has a huge crack in it. Little jewelry box. What do you want
Ooh,
to
I
look
want
at
to open the
first?
jewelry box.
As you approach the jewelry box, you open it. As you open it, an amber glow starts to shine.
Ooh.
And when you open it, there is no jewelry at all. There is grain, and resting in the center of the box is an amber shard that is glowing. It is very similar to Cormac's. It is not identical.
Is this where the broken mirror is?
Yes, the broken mirror is against the vanity, and you kind of look, and it's really dirty. It's just a mirror, this one.
Um,
Look
is
what I found. And I'm not gonna pull the shard out. I'm gonna. How big is the jewelry box? Can I lift it? Is it like a small?
Oh, yeah. It's probably like, I don't know,
Oh.
5 inches by 3 inches. It's a little one.
I'll pick it up and kind of turn it. I'm not gonna touch the shard, but show everybody that I found it.
That looks like Cormac's.
Yes. As I said, I wanted to follow this here for answers, but I didn't think it would come in the form of more clues or cryptic. Can I see it a bit closer?
I'll pass it to you.
Cormac, make an
I wouldn't touch it.
investigation check as you're looking at this amber.
Absolutely.
I will prestidigitate the I don't know how much I can prestidigitate, but that area, including the mirror and maybe the vanity.
Prestidigitation always works. You do feel like this is kind of a might take you hours job depending on how much you wanted to do.
Okay, I don't care this much.
The
Was
roll.
a 17 on the investigation.
17. The amber is very similar to yours. It's not on a necklace, it's just raw. It's not identically shaped. This one's a tiny bit bigger. The crystal's a little differently shaped. What you do notice, though, as you're looking, is next to it, buried in the grain, there seems to be something very small sticking out. It is about the same color as the grain, but most certainly not grain.
I want actually first to see if I can just take the amber itself.
Okay.
And assuming that I am able to pick that up and nothing explodes, then I will poke it and try to look and see what this thing sticking out is.
As you pick it up carefully, the glow stops, and it is now a piece of amber in your hand, but there's no.
And my own never glowed during this process.
Not during this process, no.
All right, so I will nudge the grain around and see if I can tell what's sticking out.
Seems to be a tiny roll of parchment.
Very nice. I'm tempted to force you to tell me exactly what kind of grain is in here, but I don't know if it matters.
It's amber waves.
Right, okay. Very good. I'll take the piece of paper.
Oh my gosh.
Parchment.
So
Right.
the parchment unrolls. It's written in very small writing. It's kind of a lot. And
A
it reads,
history teacher. Sorry,
it reads, Drasha, I have selected you as the beast's custodian in my absence. Should the beast grow unruly or show some signs of agitation while I am away, I have left this amber shard to weaken it and soothe its fury. Should the need arise, present the shard and speak the beast's name. If you speak with conviction, it shall obey you in my stead, if only for a very brief time. But be sure to be gone from the house before it awakens fully at midnight. So long as the beast draws breath, it, not you, is the heart of this house. and no meal shall ever sate its appetite. Should you linger in its domain, it will mean doom for you all. Is signed Elizabeth.
Very
So,
interesting.
Can we get that letter in verbal cues, please?
Yep.
Thank
The
you.
moment
Yeah.
that Cormac, the very moment that you read the word Elizabeth and you are finished reading this letter, you all hear, as though from a few rooms away, the grandfather clock striking 9.
And
Do we-
you know, Cormac is a pretty good reader, so he will have been reading and then reading aloud as well, sort of keeping ahead of it,
Okay.
so that he knows there's not going to say anything too crazy. Could stop himself, but sounds by the end of there like I would have said all of that out loud, so everybody knows.
so does this mean that it is possible Elizabeth wrote the spells in the book and has either trapped or like is holding the house hostage or whatever's in the basement hostage?
Looking at the
Elizabeth,
Spells were
parchment,
hooey.
it is written much faster and with less care. It is almost certainly the same writing. Again,
As on the wall and on the book.
in the
Okay.
book. Mhm.
Oh yeah, sorry, Joe. I forgot that. The writing in the book is the same as the blood writing in the first room.
Okay. The main one, not the more haphazard
Not
one.
the shush, the main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're what are we waiting for? That almost certainly fits in the little niche, right?
we should try it.
Hopefully we can get back up there.
Right. Um,
Also,
It-
the spells in the book were who? How did Elizabeth summon something, and who is this Drasha person?
And
yeah,
maybe she was.
another reference to her that I missed.
I don't.
Who
Maybe
was? Can you remind me who? The invitation we found in the first room when we first got there, was there a name on that?
There was. The name was not Drasha.
I didn't think
The
so. Just
name
checking.
was. The last name was Wachter. Wachter. Lady Lovina Wachter is who that invitation was addressed to.
but it never got sent. Is that
You found it in a
It was
coat that
open?
is presumably Elizabeth's. and
okay?
It was open, so it's a little odd.
Well, I think we should get back to the library and try putting the shard in the thing.
Okay.
As you are turning back to the library, Oksana, you notice that there's, because this is the kind of thing you notice, the pillow of the bed has a bloody knife sticking out of the top of it.
Wait, before we
Bloody
leave,
knives, that's a role for Allie.
Nobody else notices that. That's not our sort of thing.
There's knife. There's bloody knife. Oksana would run, like not look at anything but the knife, run, jump on the bed, like all fours, almost like a dog with a bone, and like pick it up, lift it if possible.
When you all see Oksana jump on the bed, a cloud of dust as thick as the mist you got here through. So, and it all lands on her. And by the time Oksana pulls the knife out and turns back towards you, she's covered like she was at Pompeii. Just absolutely ash and dust, head to toe, every bit. Oksana, the knife pulls right out. As you look at it, it looks exactly like the one that flew across the kitchen by itself. Except this one has blood.
are you all right, Oksana?
I'm fine. This is wonderful. It is almost as cool as the Ember Shard things everyone seems to have that I do not. Um, on the pillow, is there blood on the pillow? Presumably.
Yeah. It's not a ton, though. Whatever this thing stabbed, it did not bleed out in this bed. Other than the blood on the pillow, which is probably about that big around. It is saturated enough to be. It's very dark color now. But that's the only blood there is. There is no like when you pull back the rest of the sheets. There's no blood anywhere but the pillow itself.
I must find out where thing bleed out because this could be very good for me and my situation. So she was just gonna like get up like bloodhound, like hocus pocus when they walk. Like I don't know if you know that, but I do, and like sniffing out blood.
Sam is going to go look at that little door with the button on it.
Press the button. You think you hear above you a little bell tinkle.
Oh.
Nothing happens. And eventually you sort of open the door. It's just like a little space that you can kind of look in your space, and there's a little rope that seems to be like a pulley that could go up and down. Sam would perhaps not know, but this is a dumbwaiter.
Sam does not
I have no
eat. He has never been at a hotel.
idea. I imagine the only person that might know who this is probably Cormac.
Wait, no, who?
What a dumbwaiter is.
Dumbwaiter is.
Oh, I think he said who
Lyriel
is
doesn't
this,
know what
and
it
I
is.
was like, dumbwaiter is not a person; it's a sort of figure of speech. You see.
No, Lyriel grew up in a caravan. She didn't have any idea what this thing is.
I've met some dumb waiters, that's for sure.
I was watching. I would have been watching Oksana actually because I was curious when she said it was to find out where it bled out. I was just sort of thinking, wait, I'm as interested in when is that any fresher than the rest of this dusty tomb?
Is it?
I guess it's a history check. I want more skills. I want an archaeology check. But I suppose history is the best we can do.
From who?
From either of you, or one of you with advantage, since you're both looking.
I have +2.
I mean, if we're being mechanical about it, I've got a +5. I'm happy to roll with advantage if
Yes.
you like.
You do this.
It's still only 14.
14. Exactly how long it would take dried blood to completely flake and disappear is a long experiment. It does look like there is nothing that indicates that this blood is in any way fresh at all.
Well, you have more of a connection with this sort of thing than I'm sure I understand, but I'm not sure you'll be able to follow much of a trail. This is quite old. I couldn't say how old, but
Looking around on the floor, would she or anyone else see blood like going toward the door or like the dumbwaiter or
A survival check. Or
wait?
investigation, you pick.
Uh, it does not matter. 13.
13. 13's not bad. You look and Floor's dusty, and you kind of sweep the dust away with your boot, and sure enough, there's a couple of drops of blood on the floor. It's kind of slow work because you're following a trail you can't see. You have to dig it out of the dust with each step. But there does seem to be a drop of blood every so often that leads out of this room.
Oksana is not going to pay attention to anyone else, and is literally going to follow out of the room without consulting anyone.
Well, we better follow Oksana before she gets in trouble.
Well, hopefully she's leading us back to the library because that's where we were going. Does she do this kind of thing often?
Yes.
You follow this blood. Goes past the door with the padlock, which would have been your bet. And it continues on down, and the door on the right, closest to where you came up the stairs, down the stairs, which, by the way, looks identically normal.
Yeah.
There seems to be not only the trail of blood going into that room, it's easier to see the closer you get to that room.
Oksana's just going to knock on the door. Yoo-hoo! I see someone's bleeding in there.
As you knock, the door just opens. It's not latched. You look inside, it's more dust, more cobwebs. This bedroom is not nearly as large, but it is much more tasteful, which Oksana would definitely know. It's actually fairly elegant. There's a large bed. The coverings are faded and threadbare now after so long, but it looks like they were once very almost opulent. There's two end tables. One of the end tables has like a mildew covered towel. You can smell it from where you are. And there's like a dusty yellowed book. It looks like the towel's been put over the book to try to hide it. On the far side of the room, you see two more stained glass doors leading somewhere. Same dirt and grime on it. There's an empty wardrobe, and it is empty because you can see the doors and the drawers are all open. Next to that is another full-length mirror. This one has a nice wooden frame, carved, ivy and berries kind of thing. And there's another door next to that. So you look around the room, you notice that the blankets on top of the bed lift slightly away from the mattress, as though something or someone is lying in the bed under the covers. And as you watch, you can see those covers almost imperceptibly rise, fall.
Um, sorry to bother you. But I noticed blood was in room. Are you okay? Just checking. He turned and looked at everyone like,
There is no response to your question.
is the blood leading up to the bed?
Kicking the dust away. Yes.
Oksana will approach the bed um, with the intention of looking under the bed first. Like
Under the-
stealthily.
so you look under the bed. Nothing.
I'm scared, by the way. Oksana is.
Doing creepy things.
I am creepy. Oksana will just take her hand and like try to pull back the bed curtain or blanket. I'm so nervous.
So, is this a pull slowly back or a rip the band-aid off?
Rip the band-aid off.
You pull, the dust cloud puffs, and it doesn't change anything about how you look. There is nothing in the bed. However, the mattress was saturated with blood. It is, of course, now all dried. This is where someone has died. And what you didn't notice, tied to the 4 posts, and because they were put under the covers as well, there are attached to each post restraints, hand and foot restraints that seem to be made of barbed wire. Whoever died in this bed was kept here using those restraints. But there is no one here.
I do not like this place.
I do not, and this is my kind of place.
I would really like to get out of here, preferably before midnight.
We're going to need the name of the beast.
Yeah.
Amber alone won't do it.
Did you say there was like a table or
Yes.
anything in there?
There's nightstands on either side of the bed. There's a wardrobe that looks empty, a mirror. There's a closed door next to the mirror. There's another kind of smaller set of double doors with that same
Stained glass.
So lots.
All of these doors. I'm having a hard time picturing the room in my head. Is there a mirror that is facing the bed?
It appears that the mirror is not really facing the bed. It's kind of pointed in the same direction, but the foot of the bed is here, and the mirror is sort of here.
So
So it will be reflecting past the bed, not the bed itself.
would Oksana know that? Because what I'm thinking is, whatever happens, maybe the mirror saw it. So if I get in the bed, like maybe I could see the reflection, and maybe there would be some magical something. I don't know. She's very perplexed. Is that? I don't know how you would call that, or
Would you like to try to get into bed and see the angle of the mirror?
yes, I will. I will do this.
Get into bed. Look in the mirror. You look this way. Reflection bounces that way. It bounces into the hall. and not at it. You have to move your head a little bit. But the mirror looks up the hallway, and you can see the padlocked door in the reflection with this door open. Could just be coincidence. There is nothing else of note that would appear in the mirror at all.
Oksana will get out of the bed and before she relays these, for as much as she revels in the blood and the death and her thoughts and feelings about it, she will neatly make the bed, if possible, or at least pull it back and attempt to try to take off the barbed wire.
Can do this. It will take you probably, I would say, about 5 minutes to untie all of it.
Is it possible for everyone to help? I just feel like this is not, like, this should not be here. Would it take less time if everybody helped?
I
Yes.
think what has happened has already happened.
And
I just-
although I'm-
Objects hold memory.
I just think if the house is alive and it's possible that maybe they don't like this, I don't know. It can't hurt, or can it? I don't know. She's gonna do it regardless. So
Larry will help, and she'll kind of like hum a calming tune as she does so.
I would
And
like to check out one of the other doors in this room.
The double door with the glass or the closed door next to the window?
The closed
No,
door
mirror,
next to
excuse me.
Let's do the closed door next to the mirror.
As you walk towards that closed door, there's a woman's voice humming from the other side.
Do not fear. I will liberate you.
She is almost certainly humming Waltz for Clara.
Sam will stop before opening the door. Take a moment. And then pull out his flute and try and play it in response.
Make a performance check. Lyriel and Oksana, go ahead and make dexterity checks for me.
18.
You were able to.
Check not saving, right?
Yes, not save. Just a check. Straight check.
14.
is this the one that I have to factor in, or did it D&D Beyond already do it? 'Cause there was one.
This is the one. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the one. Good call.
And that's just one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 18.
18 and 14. It's a little scary. The barbs are pretty sharp, but you guys both do a great job, and you come out without a single nick. Sam, you play the song perfectly. As you finish it, the humming continues as though it didn't hear you playing.
I will open the door.
Do we hear the music at all?
You're not close enough to the door.
Okay.
When you open the door, the humming abruptly cuts off, and there is no one in this room. However, the air is strangely warm, and the metallic scent of blood still lingers in it. On the walls are runes painted in what seems to be blood. Also, on the ground, there is a circle of those runes also. In the center of that circle is a hand-carved crib. The crib is empty. And for the first time, you see those fleshy tendrils inside. They are wrapped around the bottom half of this crib, as though they have grown out of the floor. They're like flesh, like tumors, and they do slowly pulsate as if breathing. The crib itself is entirely empty.
Are there any icons on the crib? Like, we knew the kids were named Rose and
Oh, good
Thornvald.
looking out.
We found those spooky carvings down below.
You look. Make an investigation check.
16.
16. Pretty good. Nothing carved on it. It is as you're having to wipe away dust in this room. It does appear that the top of the crib frame is with wood. And there are 2 spots on the side that you are on where the wood seems a little darker, as though oil from skin has passed through it, as though someone spent a lot of time with their hands on that top of that crib. They are adult-sized hands.
Sam points this out to his comrades, but he does not have the bass fisherman look on his face anymore. He is confused by the evidence at hand.
Lyria will come over. Do those runes seem to be any particular language?
For this, I think you would make an Arcana check. They would not be in a language, they would be in a magical language.
Okay.
So you're trying to decipher what they're trying to do.
An 8.
An 8. Clearly, given the walls and the circle around the crib, some sort of magic intended to center around the crib or something in it, as to exactly what.
So Gummer has been, I think, straddling the threshold into this room, not wanting the door to disappear. But hearing this from Sam, do any of them match any of the stuff from the book?
Who has the book?
I think we left the book in the library.
No, we didn't.
Anna has the book.
I have the book. Yes, I actually do. I am not lying.
Open up the book and page through it. It's really hard to tell with runes. The pictures that you don't see, probably some of them match and some of them don't.
Cormac, you are
If you
familiar
wanted
with
to
the
spend
arcane.
5 full minutes looking and like copying and taking that level of detail, I could tell you more. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to take the time. Sorry, I interrupted you.
What was that, Sam?
You are familiar with the arcane, Cormac. Can you identify any of these markings?
I can try, of course. Very strange. I will try. So let me
With
try.
more of a classical magical education, make that Arcana check with advantage.
Oksana takes issue with this judgment that she does not have good education.
The words classical and good are not the same thing.
This is true. This is true.
23.
23. Lots of these runes are necromantic. Some of them look like they're supposed to be necromantic, but they're like not done right. It's as though someone who does not understand kanji is trying to copy it exactly off of a Japanese piece of writing, and some of them turn out fine, some of them are not right. As to whether or not enough of those runes are correct to make the spell successful, you would guess the answer is yes. Though perhaps it would not turn out precisely as the caster intended.
It's inexpertly done, but likely to be successful. Magic would have completed, but whether there's the intended effect, I cannot say for certain. Probably something may have gone awry. I don't know if that lines up with the strange tumorous nature of these horrid growths, or if it has something to do with the beast below. I don't know, but it's unusual.
Is the GM? Did you say the tendrils or fleshy things like were pulsating like a heartbeat?
They seem that they or something they're attached to are alive.
Would if one were to try to rock the crib or cradle with the way that it's attached, would that be possible?
Maybe.
Based
Can you give it a try?
Only one way to find out.
Oh, this is where I do not know if I am myself or if I am character.
Do it, do it, do it.
Okay. Oksana knows not to the thought process is Elizabeth is trying to be trying to either hex or I don't know what that means in D&D, but like trying to do something to this baby that is okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go and place my hands where oh god, what the rubbing clearly was where the other person and try to rock it.
First, when you pull, feel like it's not going to work. That the tendrils are holding it too tight. You feel the tendrils give a little. You're able to rock this back and forth, and eventually you like maybe the tendrils are helping. And to test it, you let go. And as you let go, it rocks back and forth a tiny bit by itself before it stops.
Oksana is just going to back out of this room. Yes. This seems to be maybe heart of the house or something. And I'm no. I'm done with room.
Perhaps we should try the amber charm on the niche behind the library wall.
Yeah, I say let. I don't want to be here anymore.
Was there?
The doors here, of course. There was another one in this room yet too, right? Plus in the hallway.
There's two. There's another set of double doors in this, and then in the hallway there are 3 doors you haven't opened yet.
I'm quite
The one
cognizant
directly
of
across from this one, and then the other set, one of which has padlocked.
I feel like we have to split up, sort of. Like, I mean, time wise. Obviously, the padlock one we should do together because it is, like, clearly dangerous.
But it's just a hallway. Have you never passed down a hallway just looking indoors? I mean, I think we could all walk around and at least open or try to open each of these and peer in rather quickly before maybe a full investigation might require some splitting up or duplication of time. I'm just worried about. I'm cognizant of the deadline, but I'm worried what might happen if we do succeed with the ambush shot without all the information we need.
Hey, you
There's
go
something
open
we've
the
meant
door.
to learn here.
You
Yes.
think we should open these doors before we return with the shard then?
Perhaps, but I don't. I wasn't here, of course, for the shard bit. I don't know if we have an idea of what that's going to do. Was it just like
We don't
a
have any
little
idea.
thing? Okay, right. If it was like clear, let's just open a cabinet. Okay, go back and do that first. But if it's like it might take us to the next level of the house, I think we need to know what's on
Yeah, we got no.
everything
Yeah.
here first.
We don't know.
Okay, Cormac, you
That
go
makes
open the
total
door.
sense.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the. There's another one inside this room. I'll go to that one.
The double doors.
You open those and you step out on to what probably was once. I mean, it is still technically a balcony. The view must have been just magnificent from here. But the only thing you see is a wall of fleshy tendrils going all the way up, all the way down, like the world's grossest greenhouse.
The phrase fleshy tendrils is just going to live in my memory forever. Thank you.
Yeah. What wall of flesh? I don't think it knows anything.
Well, we can rule that door out.
Next,
Back to the hall then.
Let us try another.
just to make sure we're not missing any doors on the way. I'm a little like turned around. So as long as we haven't missed any doors in these rooms, we go.
The only thing in this door that you haven't looked at is the little nightstand with the only thing in this room you haven't looked at is
The
the
mildewy
nightstand with
towel.
the little mildewy towel.
Let's ransack that as quick as possible.
Someone should look at it.
Gummer is not feeling it.
Gummer is still in the threshold, like holding it
The
up.
door can't disappear if I'm in it.
Exactly.
Sam looks around at Lyriel, Cormac, Oksana. Do any of y'all seem enthusiastic about interfacing with this thing?
Yeah, I do. We need information, perhaps. I don't know. There could be a paper underneath there. Whatever the name of the beast is hidden by the towel.
Yes,
Let's
it could be beneath the towel.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to start running in rooms and leaping onto beds, but I do think we could throw things apart a little bit more quickly and just see what there is to learn.
Are you still covered in dust, by the way? Or did you?
Yes, I'm still covered in dust.
Done nothing to address that.
It's
Like
like
she climbed
they-
up a chimney herself.
Do you want me to clean you off, or
It's okay. So I work hard.
okay? I know you like your blood, but I didn't know about dust. You look like you just crawled out of a chimney.
I think I'm okay right now. I don't have allergy,
All right, who's lifting up that towel?
but thank you.
Hard
So
pass.
lift up this towel. Start with that which is most mundane first. The book seems to be, given the illustration on the cover, a somewhat raunchy romance novel. It is called
betrayal.
Blue Blooded Lips. Judging by the cover, it is a wealthy duke and a peasant woman who fall in love. What is less mundane is the fact that there is a severed human finger right next to that book.
Oksana's gonna put it on a necklace, isn't she?
Do we see this?
You just whip the towel off, so if you're looking, yeah.
There's a finger.
The finger. The finger.
Is it like a fleshy finger or just the bone?
Great question. There is still some flesh on it. There's definitely pieces of flesh that have been stripped. But here's another thing where there's no way that finger's been here over 1,000 years and maintained any sort of flesh at all in a way that makes any sense.
The finger could go in the hole.
We should take the finger and the book.
I'll take it. I'll take the finger.
I will take the book.
Do you like to read?
I will hold it up like Fisher. Man. Finger.
As she holds up the finger, if anyone has proficiency in medicine, you could make that check if you like.
Proficiency, does that count?
I will take half.
Which digit is it?
Seems to be the pointer finger. The left pointer finger.
That's only a 7.
7. Too gross to look at.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. And she's got this, and sorry, Oksana's taking the finger and is going to go, we go that way.
Okay. Do you want to go to the door that is directly across from you?
Yes, because Luke is nodding his head.
Gummer would take the path of least resistance.
There you go.
This door is unlocked, and you open it, and it looks like a storage room. It's dusty, this kind of lumpy, squat shapes, kind of draped in these dusty white sheets. There is
Including
in the
Gummer.
right wall. there's little gummers underneath there. Woo! Against the wall, there's kind of an old iron stove, and next to the stove is a trunk. What is almost very clearly a like footlocker type trunk. That is
And the
also
stove is
covered by a sheet.
Cold, right?
Say that again.
The stove is
stove is
cold.
Yeah.
He'll open up the footlocker.
Lyriel will stand in the door. Since
Thank you.
Voldemort is not holding the door open, Lyriel will.
Within that trunk, only thing that is there is a very folded up and somewhat desiccated body.
Of
You know
what?
enough to know it shouldn't have flesh either, but there it is.
Of what age? Approximately? Is it adult or child?
Adult sized.
Okay.
Does it match finger? Is it having pointer finger?
I will look.
The body is in fact missing its pointer finger.
Oksana will push in and look at the body.
You're so weird.
As the two of you are looking down at it, both of you feel at your shoulder and really more like the back of your neck sort of a cold breath, and you feel as though someone is standing over you watching you.
Cormac, if you need to see, just ask. I can move.
Cormac is over there.
Gummer turns around.
Oksana squats down closer to the body.
Gummer, as you turn around, you don't see anything. However, Sam and Lyriel and Cormac saw a very ghostly female spirit rise up out of the floor and peek over their shoulder into that trunk. The minute
You
Gummer
recognize the
turns,
woman?
you can only see the back of her head, but it gives Elizabeth Durst vibes again.
I don't
And
like her.
the minute Gummer turns, it's gone, vanishes.
Do you tell us this?
It was not but there was a ghostly figure. Yes, I thought for a moment it was one of the apparitions that takes me other times, but no, it did seem to be more of a Madame Durst sort of look to it.
Did
I
you
saw it
see her?
too.
Did it have a finger? I mean, did it?
Notice.
Did it have anything
it-
specific around its finger?
I mean, like, was it missing a finger too? I'm trying to figure out whose finger we're missing, other than this body.
How is guys? Look at the body. How is it dressed? Are the
I will look
clothes-
at it.
It does seem to have, hard to tell what color they were, but it seems to be a dress, so it's probably a female.
Would it be like a nice
Is it
fabric,
Yeah.
like velour,
You
like
touch
my
it.
last name?
It's velour. It's
It doesn't feel very nice.
Her last name is Velorova. She made it up. It doesn't feel nice.
It sticks out for not feeling nice in a place where mostly things have been very nice.
Try placing her finger back on her body. Perhaps the restoration will have some power to it.
Do I have to?
You've only had the finger for like a minute and a half. Now give it back.
Okay. You just look at it just to see how, like, if you can see, was it manicured or like, did it look like it had worked hard, like baking bread or like? Trying to figure out if it is fancy lady or
Yeah, it's perception or investigation. Your choice.
Ooh, this is 21.
21. It's both. This is a finger of a woman who clearly worked, but at the same time, the fingernail is cared for also. It was someone who worked hard with her hands, but also wanted to have nice fingernails as best she could.
I think this is I so ugh. She is going to put the finger back as close to wherever it would be without touching the body or like breaking it or anything. Um, before I let it go, can you see anything around the bones, like any sort of from wrist?
Sure.
Yeah.
Make a medicine check.
Anybody?
Got a +1 to that. I am no.
If you ask, I can help.
18.
Woo. Two things. Number one, this finger was likely bitten off. And the teeth marks are very small. Also, looking at the wrists, they show very, very, very clear signs of being tied in barbed wire.
I relay all this. This is bananas.
You would guess that although, as you're thinking about it, you hear in your head, a lot of blood in that mattress, but not quite enough. Touch her shoulder for me.
Okay. Can I have the finger back if I do this?
No response.
Okay. Oksana will touch her shoulder.
You reach down, touch her shoulder. You feel someone else's brain in your head thinking. It's very unnerving, even for you. And then you hear, yes, this woman did not bleed to death. This woman starved to death.
Who who are you?
Is that a question for me?
Whoever is in my head that is not my other friend.
It is me. I just
Oh,
don't normally think when I'm in there. Normally, I do my thinking before I get here. This is a lot of stimuli, even for me.
I just would like everyone to know that it is extra creepy when he does this because we are in the same house and I hear him out in the hallway before I hear in my head. It is very scary. Ooh, that was loud.
You hear in your head, Oksana, you think that's creepy. All of you notice that with no hands on it, something tall covered in a white sheet, the white sheet just falls off of it. And
What
you're
is it?
looking in a mirror. All of you see in the mirror exactly what you should, except the person who put the body back together. Oksana, you see in the mirror what must be the spirit of this woman. It's that looks back at you. You do not see yourself at all. She's skeletally thin. You notice that all of her fingers have been removed. Her eyes shut, and you realize they have been sewn shut with thread. Her mouth is not only missing all of its teeth, but its lips as well. And her entire body has far too many knife scars to count. Her hair clearly hacked away with a knife. And the same markings around her wrists.
Uh,
And it
so she,
kind of, you feel observed by it. It can't see you or talk to you, but it does seem sort of holding its hands, sort of looking at you, almost like it's curious.
uh, quickly she thinks, are you playing tricks on me to patron?
No, that one's not mine.
Um, hello? I, it kind of waves like, is it like her waving at the same, like, does it, okay.
And it's not in a mirror sort of way.
Okay.
Like you wave, and then a second later, it's like you're looking at her through glass.
Um, can you hear me?
Do we hear her saying this
Yeah, you hear her.
and see her doing this?
You do.
Can we see
You
what
see
she sees in the
Oksana.
mirror?
We do not see what is in the mirror.
You do not.
Ooh.
I I would not like take my eyes off of her because I would be afraid like the house that she would leave or whatever, so she just ignores everyone. Uh, are you the person that um is in the trunk? Uh, d- are are you is your name Elizabeth? No. She was not very nice to you. She was mean, right?
No, not very nice. Yes, mean.
Uh, you are not Darsha? Drasha? Or, Clara?
Oh, no.
Clara? What did? Oh God. And she can't speak. They weren't. s- Did you have a baby with Mr. Durst? It makes you sad. I did- um. Who did this to you? I was it Mr. Durst that did this to you? Was it Miss Elizabeth? In that room, she was were tied up, and Oksana has the dagger. Oh, and you were hurt with these. You were killed with these. And Oksana will just drop the dagger. Are you trapped? Like, how can we help you? I guess we need to get out of the house too. Why are you still here? You are not.
She's going like that, and she's pointing her head towards the next room, padlocked door.
Do you know what's in the next room? Is it going to hurt us? And do I get a sense that she would be lying?
Make an insight check as best you can.
That would be 8.
You have no idea. You can't look in her eyes. You can't listen to her voice. Some body language seems fine. Who knows?
Are you, something horrible happened to you, and you should not have been treated this way. It's Mr. Durst wanted you to like use God, what did they call it? The contraception. Like Mr.
that
Durst,
powder.
yeah, to give you powder to take care of you so you're no longer pregnant or you don't get pregnant. It's okay. It's okay. You do not need to be ashamed. Okay? You're taken advantage of. I'm sorry that this happened to you. Well, we will go in the other room, and I trust that this will be helpful to you. Is there anything else that we can do to help free you from these constraints?
Making no motion to acknowledge you at all. The specter, whatever it is, turns to one side and steps out of the mirror. And as she steps out, it's almost like wiping the glass. Suddenly, it's just you in the mirror.
I will approach the mirror just to make sure that she is no longer there and kind of touch it.
Kind of look, touch it like a mirror. You kind of go around, take a peek around behind it. Looks normal.
You guys, we have to go in the next room with the padlock.
What did you
Shauna, what
learn?
did you see?
It was a woman, and she had like her mouth was sewn shut. It was obvious it was Clara, and I relay everything. So she really wants us to go into the other room, and she say that it's not going to hurt us, whatever is in there.
He was tortured by Elizabeth.
This is what she confirmed.
I will open the padlocked door.
And as you approach the padlock and lift it, suddenly the key seems much too large. Just to check. The key no longer fits the door. It no longer fits the lock. It is as though the key has grown or the lock has shrunk.
I do not understand, but we have changed either the lock or the key.
It is the house. He's trapped her. If she wanted us to go into that room, the house is messing with it.
Let us try and use the amber in the library. It is the only other clue we have.
And there's no
one
more
other door,
doors.
right?
We have one
There
more
is
door.
another door exactly opposite the padlock door that you have not yet gone in.
Check that out.
So it's open. Looks like another storage room. It's a whole bunch of crap, not covered with sheets. One thing that does catch your eye is that on a little bookshelf, a bunch of knickknacks and junk in it on top. And it is cobwebby and dusty, but it looks like a really, really nice music box.
We'll grab it.
Pick it up.
Open
Okay.
it.
As you open it, the waltz for Clara begins. Except instead of having a little ballerina that spins, a very small knife, like the kind of knife you would use to skin a deer or an animal that you caught hunting, spins. The knife also has dried blood. However, right next to that spinning knife is a key. Sam and Lyriel, as music people, you will realize that this is Clara's waltz, but it is in a slightly different key, and a key that makes it sound, rather than sad, terrifying.
And the key is next to it
The little brass key,
in a different key.
different than the giant iron key.
Who's handling it?
Cormac's
Cormac.
holding it.
There's a key here. The music is obviously somewhat familiar.
It is Clara's waltz, but it is not
not right.
Clara's waltz.
It is obvious, and from whatever interaction you had with her, Oksana, she was obviously mistreated, but I am not at all certain which of the two, or perhaps others, of course, but her or Elizabeth is more responsible for some of the terrors that are here. She could have acted out in revenge as a spirit or anything like that. I don't know, but let's see what the key opens, if anything. Is this one about a fit, Sam?
Let us try the padlock.
Perfect fit.
Shall we open it? The key is a match.
Yeah.
Oksana seems to trust her.
So you open the padlock, undo the chain. Open this door. I mean, you guys have seen a lot of sad stuff already. There's a window, but it looks like it's been bricked up. No tendrils, bricked shut. There are two dusty, wood-framed, child-sized beds. Next to the door, there's sort of a toy chest with windmills inexpertly painted on the side. And next to it, a dollhouse that you realize is the house you're in. Not in the beds, but in the center of the room. The larger child with its arms seemingly around, smaller. Their hands together lie the bones of two children.
And they are bones. There's nothing.
They're just bones.
And they appear to be like holding each other.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the room?
There's a little toy cradle next to the dollhouse. And in that cradle, there's a doll that recognizes. It's the same doll that young Thornbolt was holding in that painting. And as you lift up the doll, there's a name carved in to the bottom of that crib. And it is the name Walter. And from behind you, he was our brother. You turn, and standing on top of, as though they came out of these skeletons, are the very, very, very clear spirit of Rose and Thorn. Rose looks at you sadly. Thorn looks at her, holding her hand, looks back at you, just a little bit scared.
He was the son of your father and Clara?
I think so. We weren't told that sort of thing, but Clara loved that baby, and Mum just hated him. Of course, there wasn't. But once Walter was born, he never breathed. So all the love he got was inside Clara's belly. John says, she used to let us listen. And we could put our hands and feel the baby moving. But then when it was born, it didn't move at all. Rose looks and says, what are you doing here? I don't think you belong here. Although you are the first people we've seen in a really long time.
Are they aware that they're dead? Or do I have to ask?
That's kind of a metaphysical question, I think.
Imagine they could look down and see the bones, but
They seem.
Do we get a
Make an insight check.
That's a 6.
Who knows? Ghost kids are talking to you right now.
Um. We are. I met Clara in the other room.
How did
And-
you meet Clara? Clara died.
Yeah. She was in, maybe her spirit was in the mirror in the room next door, and she wanted us to come check on you.
Thorn will say, she's a spirit like us. Like we're spirits, right, Rose? That's right, Thorn, we're spirits. There are spirits who would greatly love to leave this room.
We're not.
We
We're not
hope
here
you
to hurt.
leave.
Well, we're not exactly sure. What do you think, Thorn? You want to tell them your theory? Well, I think you got to take the bones and bury them. Like like a rat burial, like my grandma. When people came and she got a little stone. Like that, we think, Rose says. I agree with Thorn, but I'm not used to asking someone so soon for such a large favor. I think that we will also have to come with you.
Of course. Why?
Why were you locked in this room? Why was your room locked? We could understand why your mother didn't care for the other child, but you?
She never told us anything. We heard loud noises in the basement, like a sort of growling and screaming, like a big monster. And Mother told us not to go down to the basement. But one day we went and we walked past all the crypts, even the ones, and then we saw, and then Mother caught us. And next thing we knew, we were in here, and she stood at the door and locked it. And the only time she ever opened it again was when two men came up to put the bricks in. Two men put the bricks in while one guarded to make sure we didn't get out, and then she shut the door and locked it. And we've been here ever since.
I think I must also ask if we are to travel together and we are to help you. You mentioned that your brother, Walter, yes, was stillborn, but we've seen some evidence of a child around the house, a painting of a bundle, a cradle, these things. Was Walter not buried immediately, or?
Well, when they did the painting, you want to tell them? I didn't quite understand. Father insisted that he be painted holding that baby. Walter wasn't even born yet. Mother was so angry. Miss Clara was supposed to be in the picture and Mama wouldn't let her. But Father insisted on the bundle. As far as the rest, I mean, you've got to get ready when you have a baby, right? You've got to have a crib and things like that. And we helped make it, didn't we? I sanded the bottom on the left side. The bottom left side is all sanded by me. Yes, Miss Clara, let us help.
Liriel's crying, by the way. Like, she just has tears.
Did you ever see anything bad happen to Miss Clara?
But we heard.
Did you see the baby?
No. we just, as Clara was having the baby, and we snuck into the room next to her, and she's screaming, and we were told that that was sort of normal. Right, it's normal to scream when you have a baby. It's big and you're small. And then the screaming stopped, and then it was tears, and we let our father cry. We'd never heard that before. And then our mother just watched them from the doorway, and we thought we should run upstairs, and so we did. Miss Clara told us about the baby afterward.
What did she say?
She said that the baby was. No one says it best. She says the baby was too beautiful and pure for this world, and maybe it was a blessing for her not to be in this house. That's what she said. I don't know if she meant it or not. I think maybe she did. She was very sad all the same.
And after that, your mother imprisoned her?
We think so.
Did you ever hear the name Drasha?
No, Rasha? You look down, and Thorn has a little wooden block, a real one, and he's levitating it. Thorn, pay attention. What? He looks up, clatters to the ground. What? Did you ever hear the name Drasha? No? Look, he bends on, and somehow he picks up this physical block. He says, look, it's broken. Can you do your trick and fix it? She's like, she casts a spell that any of you wouldn't know is mending. She casts the mending spell, and the cracks in the block just disappear. He goes, right, we learn magic. He throws it up, and it stays up.
You are not simple spirits. You are something else.
Rose will say, so I found this in my father's library. She'll go, and Thorn is now bouncing it levitatingly from hand to hand without touching it. She'll go and she'll open up the toy box, and she pulls out this little book, and she says, this was in my father's library, and I was able to copy some spells. I can mend things. I can also, she'll cast light, and she'll say, I also know one other spell. I probably shouldn't, I can't really show you it, but it's like I can take my hand and like zap someone. You ever walk through the hole, and you sort of try to touch something metal, and there's a little bit of lightning? It's like that, but a little, but bigger. Not like lightning big, but like big. She tried it on me, and it hurt. It was only once. I didn't know what it did.
You should try it on Gummer. Gummer is filled with stamina.
Oh, well, I wouldn't.
That is Gummer.
You can make my hair stand on end.
It's already
sign.
very high.
I don't. No, I don't think I should.
We won't mind.
This, what I might. Thank you. The house, the doll house, is it the same as this house?
Oh, yes.
But the rooms are moving.
He looks at Thorn, and Thorn kind of. What? She said the rooms are moving.
Does it open up? Can we? Do you mind if we open it?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Or maybe one of you could. Thorn, you seem to be able to lift things. Can you move things too?
Fine, I'll play with the dolls. And stomp over. Opens it up.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
It has small dolls in it. They are tiny versions of the people in this house that you've seen and read about. They're crude, but also very clear. It seemed to be made of a resin that's been painted, and size is roughly, but the hair is painted, and you can see that there are sort of appropriately placed dolls um, in the manor, and you see almost all of the rooms that you have been in, except they're configured completely differently. The main level does have the little room with the tiny little clay wolves in it, in the kitchen, but rather than going down, the stairs leading to the ballroom in the library go up. And then the stairs going to where you are now go up instead of down.
While they're looking at, sorry, it's who's looking at the little dollhouse.
I don't know. Thorn opened it up for you, but
Okay. While that's happening, Oksana would have remembered that she had the wolf toys or stitching that has their initials, and she would have taken them out and say, "Are these yours? I think these must belong to you."
Thorn says, "Yeah, that's mine." Yes, these are ours. For the first time, you see them smile a little. These are ours. They're able to take them. It's interesting. They reach out, Oksana, and when their hands touch your hands, you feel nothing. It just passes through. But they are then able to hold these objects. So,
Did you stitch your own initials, or was this Miss Clara?
no, she made us do it ourselves.
It is very hard to learn how to do it. Looks very, very good.
And boring. Stop it.
Yes, it is very boring. There's so much more fun things to do. Uh, how did you die? I, I, it's not the best question.
Hard to remember. Like I said, Mummy locked the door, and there was no food, and also when they put the bricks in the windows, there was no air. So, sort of, Dawn always felt a little bit better when we lied together, and so we did. And then I was very tired, and then I woke up and I was this And I looked down, and for a while it looked a little like me, and then it's looked less and less like me as years have gone by, and now, of course, it's only bones. I think they were certainly my bones.
You said there
I
are
am
crypts
sorry.
underneath the house?
Yeah, we call it the we always called it the basement. We're not really supposed to go down there. I think I think we've been down there after Grandma's funeral. They took her remains and put her in the crypt, and it's sort of scary. We went down and we saw our crypts with our own names on it. They were empty, of course. They're probably empty still, right? Probably. But please, and absolute panic. Please don't take our bones to that crypt. We need to go outside. You can't leave us here anymore.
I will take your bones outside. I will find a nice place for them to rest under Lathander's ever-watching light.
And in good earth.
Thorn seems to have noticed Sam for the first time. You're a rock! But you talk! You even know the
Yes,
Morning Lord's name! How do you
I
talk, Mr. Rock?
am the Morning Lord's servant. It is because I was crafted to serve that I can speak. I think. It
You
is a
think?
mystery.
Oh, mystery. Rose, it's a mystery.
Do you remember where you were before you were born?
No, they said
I
Mom's tummy, but I don't remember.
I do not remember where I was before I became what I am either.
Oh,
In that sense, we are both young.
maybe you was born out of a bigger rock.
It is possible, I think. But now that I am here, I am your servant. The Morning Lord instructs me on the ways to make honor to those who have passed. If you will trust me,
I've never had a servant before. Will you teach me how to tie my shoes? Rose isn't. Rose is supposed to teach me, but she's not patient. Rose says, very patient. At about this time, you hear the bells from the clock. They ring 10.
We gotta get out of here.
Rose and Thorn look at each other, and Rose says, we're running out of time.
We may have to take your we may have to take you with us, and we may have to go to the crypts or the but we will not leave you there. I don't know how we are getting out.
So, just ask them. What does Uncle Fred say? He says, asking is free. Asking is free. For us to come with you is not simple. We will have to uh you'll have to let us she says we have to you have to let us profess you.
What's that?
I believe they
I
probably
think he
mean
means
possess.
possess.
Possess possess. We We won't hurt you, we promise. We just need a sort of like a carriage ride.
Does
Your
your carriage need to be
What if we
living?
just take your bones with us? Will you come with your bones?
You can't leave us here. You can't leave
No,
us
no, no,
here.
no. No. If we take your bones with us when we go, will you come with your bones?
I don't think so.
I think
Do
we
you want
must
to,
do both.
do you
We
want to
must
try it?
transport their bones and let them possess.
Will only help. I won't. If I possess you, I won't say a word unless you ask me, and maybe you would even know the spells that I knew. Perhaps I could help.
Well, I would love to help you, but I do not grasp what is in my head. So it will have to be someone else.
I'm sorry. Your Uncle Fred sounds like a terribly wise fellow, and he says that asking is free. Again, I have a question. How is it that you have figured out not only this particular method of your escape? I'm sure you've had some time to think about it, but that we're running out of time. If you've been trapped in this room, how have you learned so much about what's going on here?
You have to tell them this part. We've we've not had anyone come and visit us like you have. Never. We have heard the clock before, though. And when the clock strikes midnight, the house shakes and there's a screaming, loud screaming from the basement. And it's, even though we know it can't hurt us, we're terrified. As far as the possession, we heard about something like that in a story, right, Paul? And as you said, we've had a very long time to think about it.
I'll take the bones and I'll take one of you. That's fine by me. I ain't leaving you here.
I will carry the other bones, but I do not know if I can carry you.
Rose says, Paul, why didn't you go with the nice man? Someone says, looks at you, Gummer, and says, "You ready?"
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
He kind of backs up and he runs and he dives, and you guys see his spirit literally just melt into Gummer as though Gummer was water, and the spirit is gone. And then, Gummer, you hear in your head, I won't say anything, but you should try the juggling bit.
Gummer will.
Gummer, as long as you're possessed by Thorn, you are able to do Mage Hand.
And he'll think. Well, actually, I don't know if he knows that he can just think or if he'll need to talk, so he'll do both. And he'll say, and you don't need to keep quiet.
Right. Okay. Is it all right if I get? Rose says I might need to be very brave, and of course you can't be brave unless you're really scared. So is it all right if I'm quiet if I get scared?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I just tend to get louder when I get scared, so we'll balance each other out really well.
Oh, all right. It's like It's like I'm inside a big person. And he very gently, and you could stop him, Gummer, if you wanted, but he does kind of do that with your arms, sort of see if it will work. And you
It's not unlike what Gummer would do anyway,
let
so.
go. And then, he sort of tests it out, sort of does a little, lift your feet up. He's
I
like,
will tell you, whoever's in the mood to take Rose, it's not a problem.
Rose will kind of shyly look at the two of you, and she sort of remembers what Oksana said, and she'll sort of make eyes at you. I won't say a word, I promise.
Do I get any bad vibes
Make an insight
from
check.
her whatsoever?
Can I do? Can I help?
Why don't I will let you help Oksana, but you will need to kind of right now. You need to ask like a clarifying question. You need to ask them.
Is there
Suss it out
anything?
for yourself. Yeah.
Is there anything bad going to happen from this? From you possessing?
Oh no, not from us. They're just sort of. It's a bit like a piggyback ride, really. It's just different a little bit. Like I said, I can help.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Advantage?
can. Yes.
I should have done those separately because it hit the one that was in there before.
That's happened to me yesterday or last time I played.
And it was a 16, and now it's an 8. That's gonna be 10.
10. They seem honest.
Okay.
I would do it otherwise, but I don't trust
I know your friend in your head wouldn't like it.
or would like it in freaky way.
Please, ma'am, we're running out of time. If you don't like it,
If
you
you
can
do
kick me right out.
even the tiniest iffy thing, I'm kicking you out.
It's totally
That's not how I
fair.
would, but okay.
It's totally fair. I might not do it like Thorn did it. Would it be alright if I did it slowly? As you don't
Okay.
say no, she starts to almost one movement at a time just climb inside you. And once she's
What does
here,
this
she
feel like?
says, it's kind of nice, actually. You do feel some of the sadness and the pain that she's been through. There is some of that. But there's also like a joy and an excitement that only a kid feels that you feel. And Gummer, you hear inside your head Thorn say, all right, let's get marching.
But he'll hold on, and he'll get the blanket out of his pack, and he'll use Mage Hand to pick up the bones of Thorn and put
Oh
them
yeah,
in.
what happened when she possessed me?
The bones are still laying there.
No, I think
She's-
Sam has them.
Sam
No,
was
I mean,
was
she
going
got-
to gather those up
Yeah,
for
Sam
her.
will get her bones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question?
Gummer got mage hands. Is there anything that happened to
Yes.
Delirium?
You get mending, light, and shocking grasp. For as long as you are possessed.
Obsessed.
Do I
Possessed.
have to use
Professed.
do I have to use spell slots for those, or
They're cantrips.
oh, okay.
You would have to
Got it.
use actions
Shocking
like normal.
grasp.
Yeah.
Okay. Shocking grasp. Okay. Thank you.
Rose says, right then. Place
I'm in
left is
charge
the-
of the body. You just
Sure,
you
sure.
can chill. Thank you.
Go to the got to go to the basement. Thorn
Where's
says,
First, let
Yep.
us try that
Did you
niche
know-
in the library.
Yeah. Who has
As
the
you-
amber shard?
yeah, who's got that?
I do.
So,
Rose, do you recognize this?
oh yeah, it's Mama's key to the basement. We had to get it out of her coat the time we went down there. That's the way. Just right through here. And you feel her start to move your arm to point Lyriel, and then she's like, oh no, stop. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just sort of trying. It's to your right.
Okay.
As you
Go
guys
right.
exit and look up and down the hall, it feels like nothing has changed. And the stairs leading up look exactly as they should. And you walk up the stairs and hopefully towards some sort of resolution of some way out of this house. Or at least an end. Hopefully not yours. That is where we will stop for tonight. Good night, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Night.
Bye. See you
Guys
next week.
week.